3 now. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Valetics podcast. This one is one that I am very excited to do. This is one that I have been trying to do for quite some time, but we have here the man, the myth, the legend, Julian Cummings. He's amassed quite a following on social media. Him and I go way back, way back, probably about 7 or 8 years now. We started with Vine, then Julian transitioned to Instagram. And when TikTok started popping, he transitioned over to TikTok. Julian, welcome to the podcast, dude. Thank you for doing this. Let's give us a brief intro, and we'll just break it right off into questions.
Well, thanks, James. I just want to say you're an amazing host, and I appreciate you doing this. So I'm Julian Cummings. I'm 27 years old. I'm a skateboarder / social media creator from Basking Ridge, New Jersey.
Now, Julian, let's take it back, man. Let's take it back to 2013. Like I said in the text message, right? We did a little something called network marketing.
Oh, it's fun times.
Some people hear that and they think pyramid scheme. They think, oh, whatever. It's one of those pyramid things, I think, a lot of what you're doing today probably kind of started with that. Because I know for myself that was the case. So let's kind of take it back to Vima days, your mindset with everything, I guess how you got introduced, and, kind of how entrepreneurship being introduced into your life kind of set you off on this journey to, you might not call it that, but 343,000 followers on TikTok it's social media fame, man, and you're doing pretty well for yourself.
I appreciate it. So where do we start? We can really just start with our obsession. We were obsessed, but I feel like anything else in the world, you kind of have to be obsessed before you start to get good at it and get results. So, we did a lot of self-development. So it wasn't just like, oh, we're going to make so much money doing this thing. It was like, okay, we're going to educate ourselves, arm ourselves with knowledge, and then move forward. And, even if this doesn't work out, we still have the knowledge and we can take it forward and apply it to anything,
Would you say that was your biggest takeaway from Vima, is the fact that, although I'd say our network saw a little bit of success, although we didn't make millions, I'd say we experienced success, right? Like, we've taken away, like you said, a world of knowledge. So when Vima tanked, unfortunately, we transitioned over to Wake Up Now. And that was right around the time we started doing Vine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Vine. Vine, I feel like, was kind of your first dip into the influencer world, my first dip into playing around with whatever that was. We spent all of our time creating what it felt like. We kind of had our little Vine house over there on the Annan house, we could call it. Who were some of your biggest, I guess, inspirations and motivations, starting out, because it was like Amanda Cerny, King Batch back then, and who kind of inspired you to want to get started? Because like I said, we did a lot of it in the beginning together. So what inspired you to start this social media journey?
Well, definitely coming back home from Boston, since I was up school up there. I think it was summertime, and we just got into Vine because I saw people were starting to make money from it, and actually fame really first. And I was like, oh, well, what you can do with followers. I feel like everybody was starting to realize that, followers could be very useful in terms of taking someone who's an ordinary person to such new heights and life change. And I think with realizing that connection, I like became obsessed about the next thing, you know, Vine, of just making these 6-second videos. How hard could it be, you know? But we soon realized that people take it to all new heights and go full Hollywood with like just 6 seconds
Mm,
of a video
mm,
to really make it a hard hitting, punchy video that's very controversial and stuff. So, you know, we got the team together, you know, and that's another thing we took from Vima and Wake Up Now is like just the idea that you don't have to do anything in this world alone. You can build a team and then move forward with like-minded people that believe in the same thing or just see the vision.
for
You know
sure.
what I mean? And we'll just kind of keep moving in that direction, which is the definition of success, like moving towards a worthy ideal. And you know, it's funny how like I met Amanda Cerny like years later and we filmed a Vine.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty sick.
let's talk a little about the time you met Amanda Cerny. You were what, spring break, right? Out in
Yeah,
Texas. I'll let you tell the story.
you won't even believe it if I like told you. Okay, so imagine you like stop doing Vine because you're going back to school in Texas now. So we went from Boston to New Jersey, did Vine, and then you know that kind of fizzled out when Vine died. And then I went to Texas to finish up school. I had like 3 more years, and so we're on spring break and on South Beach, not South Beach, South Padre Island. It's an island off like the coast of like Texas, southern part of Texas. And so when I tell you, my friend's like, "Yo, Amanda Cerny's here. Like, just come check it out. She's over that way somewhere." And I was just like, "Wait, hold on, what?" So I go over there and I'm like, "Oh snap, it's actually her." And then like I had an idea already in my mind, like in my notes, and she was just down to film the video. So she was like holding my phone. It's an iPhone 4S, and she's like recording for me and just like, "No, I don't like that. Take, let's go again." And then she would just be so professional and so cool, mad chill. And like I got a bunch of people that were like there with me in the video, so like everybody kind of got to like feel important and special.
Mm.
And then so that was cool. And then I filmed like just some B-roll of like her hitting the shmoney dance because that was pretty popular at the time.
Mm.
And then we go onto like her social media and like, because like when we're posting it, we're tagging her, and we see that she's like skydiving and took like a selfie. And I was like, no way, the person I saw skydiving
Was her.
onto the beach was her. So I was like, dude, what kind of like serendipity and like I don't know, the way things come back to you in life. Like we were already kind of like done with Vine. Well, I mean, Vine was still around, but
Yeah, no, because that was a Vine that
at
you
that
filmed
point,
with her, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
But
crazy,
just the
man.
idea that like they were like filming their videos primarily on like Instagram at the time,
Oh,
but
yeah,
but they
yeah,
were
yeah,
still
yeah.
active on Vine, you know, here
Yeah.
and there, but
They
trying to
were
convert.
they were making the transition because they knew that the time, Vine's
Yeah,
time was coming.
yeah, yeah. So
Didn't you and your brother do another collab with who was that? Official Janina or
Janina,
something?
not officially. You know, he just took like one of her clips and then kind of stitched it together.
Oh, he did. Oh, I
Yeah,
see. I always. Oh,
yeah,
she revined it, didn't she?
yeah.
Yeah,
She
yeah, yeah,
said
yeah.
like, "Hey, if you ever come out to LA, you know, we could film like a skit." You know,
Yeah,
something cool.
that's crazy, man. I remember those Vine days. It's all we
Yeah,
did, man. It's all we did.
yeah,
It's all we were thinking about. And
for
it's
sure.
like, it's funny. I guess kind of like the Vine and the Vima days kind of coincide, or like the Vima Wake Up Now days kind of coincide, right? Because like we were filming Vines and then we
Mhm.
were going to sit outside of the Buffalo Wild Wings on 22 because of the fact that your mom had shut off the Wi-Fi because of the fact
Purposefully.
that you guys weren't cleaning the fucking dishes. Julian, you guys didn't clean the dishes, so we had to go sit outside the Buffalo Wild Wings on 22.
Mind you, that was like 20 minutes on like 22.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
was that 22 or 202?
No, that was 22. And then there
Okay,
was
yeah,
that time where
22.
we we were trying to set up some calls with
In
some
New Jersey.
potential clients, and we were sitting behind the Starbucks, and the cop rolled up on us. You remember that?
Yeah.
Talk about hustle, right? Having
Yeah.
to do what you got to do to make it by. Now going back to Amanda Cerny, right? So that shit's crazy, you know, and it's crazy to think that, like, you know, at the time she had what, 1 million followers,
Yeah.
2 million followers, right?
Like
That's
on
like
Instagram and between everything that she had.
now
She's at like 18 million or 20. I don't know what it's at right now.
Yeah, and but like that, you know, just I guess business wise, apparently I've heard she's quite a genius. So that's pretty cool that you were able to do that with her so early on. So, you know, Vine dies and we transitioned over to Instagram. I remember you spent a lot of time really trying to study different methodologies and different ways to rapidly grow, let's say, because it was kind of like, it was rapid.
We were kind of doing like a skategram.
What was
after that? Do you remember Skategram?
No.
Like,
yeah. Yeah. That was like the beginning days of Jarulian, wasn't it?
Like on like Instagram, like, but we were building basically a separate page. Like it wasn't like about me.
Oh, Skitgram. Yeah.
So, you know, we kind of just I met some like schoolmates, and they were just like, "Oh snap! Some of your lines are like kind of funny. Like I've kind of wanted to do things like this, but just never had like the friends to do it." So I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's
Yo, Julian, real quick, do me a favor, unplug your headphones and plug them back in real quick, because I'm getting like a weird static. I don't know if that'll even do anything. But... All right, you can keep. If you've done it, you can keep talking.
Is that better?
Hold the mic up to your thing slightly, like.
Is that better?
Slightly.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's better.
Okay. So yeah, we started making some videos, and I started like growth hacking the page. You know, just kind of like manually, just like, hey, you know, check out some of my videos. You know, just footwork. You know, like literally footwork. And then you know,
how many hours a day would you spend doing this? The growth for the Skitgram page, because I remember that was pretty quick.
Yeah, like maybe like 2-3 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
Like all times of the day, but just basically, you know, for the full day, yeah, about like 2 hours, 3 hours.
Now with Skitgram was entirely just Instagram, right? You guys never transitioned over to TikTok?
No, or YouTube. No, it kind of
just
we
fizzled
kind
out.
of faded off because like we wanted to. We saw results, got to like 7,000 followers, and our views were hitting over 1,000, maybe like 6,000 was our top viewed video, and then, you know, we just kind of lost speed and momentum because we tried to focus on like the quality and improving that and improving like maybe the skit ideas, but you know, we kind of like lost the spontaneous like idea and drive to like just do ideas just right then and there, and the editing process, turnaround time just kind of got longer and longer, and then, you know, we all still wanted to do it, but like someone would say an idea and then we'd all just look at each other and like you could tell nobody's gonna move on it, like, you know, like it's a good idea, but like just, you know, someone changes the subject or something, or just we can't figure out how to like conceptualize the idea into, you know, video medium. And so after that, you know, I was just like, you know what, let me just focus on myself, because if I focus on myself, I can go faster. I might not be able to go like far, but I can go faster, because there's a saying that says, if you want to go quick, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Have you heard of
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. I've heard of that. Um, yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting perspective, because I think it kind of comes down to like who you're working with, because you've got to like we were talking about on the phone last night, like when you're moving, like you said, when you move alone, you can move faster. But there are upsides of having a team, especially if you are lucky enough to be able to recruit people kind of that are, I guess, smarter at you, that have the strong
Yeah.
points of what you're looking to do. If you're building a skate brand and you need people for marketing, whatever, you bring people in for marketing, people who are smarter than you, and that's when a team can be beneficial. But it can bring you down. A team can bring you down when not everybody wants it the same, you know.
Hmm.
Um, but I think it's important that I'm losing my train of thought. That lead, that there's like the leader, right? Like there's the leader that's leading by example,
Yeah.
and that the leader is able to kind of like pull his team in the right direction.
Hmm.
Um,
We kind of didn't really have a leader. We kind of had like two executives, like
who pulled the
me
group
and
together?
I'd say my friend David.
The
We
British
were
dude.
just, yeah. It's funny that you mentioned the British part. You're like, represent.
Yeah. That's how I remember him, as the British dude
Yeah,
from Manchester, wasn't he?
yeah. I don't know what it is with America and why we love like mocking or like mimicking like your accents, but it's just
I've never
I don't
understood it.
know. I don't know. Like we just do. Like
Uh,
nobody does that for American accents. Like
yeah. I mean, you'd be surprised. I think you'd be, yeah. I think you'd be pretty surprised at who does actually mock America and its accents. Unfortunately, I'm talking about my own country is mocking my other country. Um,
no, no.
all right, so we are back. Julian's computer overheated. He's still using the same computer from when he was in fifth grade. He's 27. Nuts. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Great. He's damn old.
I'm joking. So to pick back up where we left off with the skitgram. So you were saying, that like we were talking about how Americans love to mock my people, but we were also talking about how one of my people, who was, I guess, your partner in
Mhm.
skitgram, you were talking about how you guys had, I guess, kind of started the group.
Yeah, it was just basically like I was in like a science class. I think it was like biology, and I think like one of my friends showed one of my classmates like one of my videos, and was just like, yeah, he's kind of doing this thing where he had like 9,000 followers on Vine. He maybe you guys should work together or something like that. And then he was like, oh, is it? We should work together on something. And then he noticed I had like padlocks on my shoes, and I don't know. We just struck up like a conversation off that, and then it just led to like us taking each other's information, and we were gonna set up like a team, and we did. I invited them over. We shot a video, and then we kind of had like so much fun like doing it, and the whole process of like laughing it off and messing up, and then we just kind of became like really really strong friends after that.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
I think I think the part that's interesting about your story is like the average person hearing this might think like, oh, what does Vima have to do with this? What does Wake Up Now have to do with this? What does Skitgram have to do with this? But like, I think that, a big takeaway for me, right, from your story, Julian, is patience.
Hmm.
It's like I said to you last night on the phone, it's you have gone through a lot of different phases of social media, right? I say phases because like Vine, Instagram, TikTok. YouTube. You've gone through a lot of different phases. You've experienced a lot of growth and small or big success, whatever anyone wants to call it, on pretty much almost every major platform at this point. It feels like, and it's taken you 8 years to get here, and you're not even, you're just scraping the surface. So my question is what would be, your advice to somebody who's maybe, sees the likes of like you with 350,000 followers, or like sees, these bigger influencers, like maybe like fucking Charlie D'Amelio. I mean, she's like, seems to be one in a million with her success story, but it's like, what would your advice be for somebody who's starting out, who maybe, because a lot of kids these days, I feel like, want to start something like this, but don't see it out because they're not patient.
Yeah, I think like patience and like intimidation, like, you know, there's like a saying that says like if you don't need to see the full staircase to start, you just need to like take the first step.
Hmm. Hmm.
And what you also have to like realize is that these celebrities are just regular people. There's nothing special about them. How like Will Smith would say, you know, using big words like esoteric. There's no like phenomenon behind them. It's like they're just regular people that had a talent that now that talent is exploited and like just basically you know put on like a bigger platform. And now like you think, oh, you see the platform they're on and you think, wow, amazing, like it's a human being, look what he's doing. But it's like you can take him off the platform and he's just a regular person.
Mm.
So just understand that you can do it too. Start with something that you can do every single day, but it has to be something you enjoy. So for me, like when Skategram started like to slow down, I just wanted to like get back to picking up my speed, and I wanted to graduate with some followers just because I saw one of my friends do it, and I just noticed that okay, he's not going to just leave college with a degree. He's going to leave with like the groundwork for building a business, like followers and stuff like that. And I understood that could lead to like life change if you don't get a job, because that's kind of what we were like really um like worried about when we started like Vima and Wake Up Now. Is like, okay, when you leave school, like will you have a job? And things may be different for you because you're a millennial, and everybody's looking for a job right now, especially like right now, like
Mm.
the climate and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you're down in Florida, so it's
Yeah.
like, you guys are one of the new epicenters of all of what is going on, and you've got such a solid foundation to be able to build, I guess what some would call like passive income on social media, and build
Mhm.
your brand and business on social media. You've got your degree. What did you get your degree in again?
It was design technology. So I was starting with like architecture, soon realized that was a lot of like tedious work, and I really just wanted to eventually build skate parks. And so, I began studying that because my dad was doing it, and I liked the way, the work he would produce. But I just wanted to kind of like take what he knows and then go build skate parks. But I found myself further along, just building more stuff that
Can't hear you. 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 Can't hear you.
no internet connection.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you we missed that last part.
Part. Uh, yeah, I just found myself further along, just basically doing what I didn't want to do,
Yeah.
which is like, okay, I'm learning about more code and stuff for buildings and hotels, skyrise, and stuff like that. But it wasn't anything that was going to further me into eventually building skate parks. So I made the decision. I was like, if I really just had the money, I would just go build a skate park. Like, the money is really the only problem. It's not really the know-how to build a skate park or how it works and everything. You can still design it, but you know, the money is really going to get you further along with that process. Like, you would just hire some designers and builders, and you just go.
Mm.
Speed. I was just like trying to break down what I want as the end result and what's the fastest way to do it. Like, regardless of like actually like what I have on me, but just breaking it down into like, okay, if I had money, I could just do it. I don't have money, so I'm going to school so that I could just do it eventually.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I just kind of reverse engineered my, like, what I wanted.
Mm.
So I started with just the Instagram account, my main page, 600 followers at the time in 2017 of November. And basically, I would just do 3 reposts a day about skateboarding, since I'm very interested in skateboarding. So it wasn't even my content. I was just taking content and showcasing it on my page, giving clout to like other people, and in turn, like, my follows and socials, started like blowing up, and people started to associate me as like that go-to guy to like, you know, um, put them on, as far as like get their clips reshared from me, and then that could be a reshare from the Barracks or
Mm.
Skate Crunch Mag or Thrasher.
Mm. They were looking at you as like kind of like the loophole and
Yeah,
Julian's the guy that I need to go to if I want to
yeah.
pop off.
Yeah, so 3 times a day, like every 4 hours, and I was really on that regimen for 18 months. I amassed like 36,000 followers in my first year. Second year, I kind of slowed down a little bit. Like, the next 6 months, it was like, I think I made it to like 47,000 or 42,000 followers. And then just recently, I just hit over 50,000 followers.
Nice.
So, from 2017 to now, it's definitely been patience, like you said, you know, and so I don't do the reposts anymore. At about like 36,000 followers is when I was like, you know what, I can start a YouTube channel. Like, I can, make this about me. It doesn't have to be about like promoting other people, and you don't really get to do what you want to do. You know what I mean? I was
Mm.
like, okay, well, what else do you do? Do you just share skate videos, or do you skate too, or do you have like any say or an opinions and stuff like that? Like, I looked at it like, I could be the influencer. I could be like the person that I want to be, and it's not like a selfish thing. It's like, you've given so much up front for free, because if you're asking for like a repost on these other pages and stuff, they're gonna charge you, or your stuff has to be really, really good.
Mm.
So it's kind of like what Gary Vaynerchuk will say is give, 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 and then jab, right hook.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, for sure.
Jab, 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 right hook. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, it really worked out, and I'm like kind of proud of the fact that I have like screenshots of like when I first started and my followers, what it looked like, and to now. And it's really a testament to me that I have the ability to do it. I know how to do it, and I can keep doing this.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, dude. I think it's just like, it's always so crazy for me to think, like we were talking about it, and it's like, you're on your way there, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a little ways behind, but like, you're on your way there. You've built yourself a super solid foundation. I think Instagram was kind of like your rock into it was kind of like the last piece of the foundation, I feel like, with getting the practice and all the ideas and generating the ideas from
Yeah.
Vine, and then, transitioning over to Instagram, and, you're doing 3 reposts a day for 18 months straight. I mean, I remember you very rarely, if ever, missed a post, and you were consuming so much content from other people that, it was time for you, like you said, to branch off and do your own thing. So now let's go over to TikTok because, TikTok, this is not the first time we've talked about it on this podcast. We've had somebody on before. His name is Mikey Cracks. He's a good friend of my business partner, Nick. He just recently hit, I think, 40K on TikTok. He's super cool dude, super funny. He does just like a lot of day-to-day stuff, really. It's kind of like a journey through his life. So Julian, right around when did you make the transition to TikTok? Because I know in our conversations, like you've mentioned, you kind of felt like Instagram was beginning to dip off a bit.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say with TikTok, I got on the platform early because I saw that, people were sharing like the little ads for it. And someone was like, oh, yo, like there's this new app where I thought it was kind of just like an app that you can get filters from. And that was it. I didn't think it was like a social media platform. So I thought it was kind of like Funimate or like, Dub Smash, where it's like you can make cool, funny videos, but it's not really like, a social media platform that you'd like kind of stay on for a while, like, Twitter or Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. So I thought it was something that was going to just fall off or you just use it for filters. So I got on, I made like 2 or 3 videos in like 2018. So this is kind of like when it became from Musically to TikTok. And, it was like weird at the time, everything was cringy and that was like what was like cool about it. But it's like these cringy videos or low effort videos that are just going viral and nobody knew like why and everything. Cause like Instagram, everything's like high quality for it to go viral. Like if it's low quality, like the market, of Instagram just doesn't move it, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits on your page. And so I posted a couple videos and then came back onto the app like maybe a couple weeks later, and I saw one of them hit like 100,000 views, and I was freaking out. I was like, dude, I don't even have like 1,000 followers. Like, how is this possible? Like, what's going on? And then, I started like growth hacking a little bit because I was like, this may be like a thing that I can like, build. So I got to like 10K and like just stopped at that point, like stopped like growth hacking it. And I didn't need to at that point because I was like, okay, this app is where that you can post one time and get like 1 million views or 1 million likes, regardless of your following. So I was just like, the growth hacking part is like not necessary at all. You could start from zero, make your first post go viral if if you wanted to. If you worked hard enough, it was like good, or follow the trends and stuff. So about like when I hit like 47,000 followers, mainly like when I moved here to Florida. So now we are going from Texas to Florida, right?
Shit, you're frozen.
Serious about TikTok, like just coming here, didn't like have a job, and
Julian, okay, you're good. Keep going. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, just like coming here to Florida, I didn't really have a job, so I would just spend my days like posting like 3 times a day, maybe 5 or 6 times a day sometimes, and then the algorithm will like take care of you if you're making good content. And from doing all these reposts like 3 times a day, like I learned like what was good content. And from Vine, I learned like kind of what was funny. And then I took a course, Jump Cut, which is kind of notable. They basically gave me one of the
Yo, I can't hear you. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, I can hear you.
All right, now I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, you're good.
So yeah, which is very notable, Jump Cut, which they gave me the final piece that I needed, which was, if you want to create good
Can't hear you again. Yo, hit mute and then hit unmute. Oh, I hate when Zoom does this shit.
Yeah, it just cuts out.
All right. Speak. I think I can hear you.
Better?
Yep, better.
Okay. So, Jump Cut. Jump Cut had like the missing piece of information that I needed, which was that, if you want to create content, you can remix content until you find original content. So what you can do is you can literally watch a piece of content and then change a few things, like 3% difference, but keep the main thing, same video, like cadence, like how you filmed it and like what the overall message was. And you can basically yield the same results as the successful video. So basically you're taking what works and just doing it again, but making it 3% different. And then, you'll find the same amount of success because you're now applying, what was funny and then applying it to something else. Like you're taking away the attributes that made it funny and now making it a completely new, different video. So I did some of that and it worked beautifully because you can just apply that to anything. You don't have to keep thinking of just something new and original. Like what would that even be? Everything's kind of already been done and people are just always taking and just making kind of like repeats of like the same thing. Like, oh, this is the story of the Lion King, but just on ice, or like, you know what I mean? People are just recycling content and stuff. If you directly take the same content, then you should tag them at least, because that's like stolen content. But remixing is literally, perfectly fine, and that is like huge, like because that's what TikTok is basically. Is like you see a trend and you try and do the same trend, but like apply it a different way. You put your own twist to it. I think that's what's really propelled my growth on TikTok, is because you don't have to try so hard to, put an idea in your head. Like if you just scroll on the For You page, you'll see ideas suggested to you, and then it's up to you to kind of see the vision for how you're going to make your twist on it and do the same thing. So
yeah, dude.
From there, I just put my head down and hit like 100K in like January. From basically August, I was at like 10K, hit 100K in like January 1st. And then from, I think like March, I hit like 300,000 or 200,000. And then just recently I hit 300,000 and I'm kind of just climbing. Hopefully I'm going to get to 350,000.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty close, man. You're what? So there's always that one thing that kind of blows people up.
Yeah.
And over the last few weeks, it's been your profile picture Pete thing. Why don't you explain that to us a little bit? Because I think that method of kind of taking that rapid growth. Yeah, show it to us. Absolutely.
The first one.
So I'll let you explain all this, your idea behind it, everything.
So basically, I hit 100K and I wanted to give away a board. And so I gave away a skateboard, but I also wanted to put people's profile pictures on a skateboard just to show my appreciation for hitting 100K. And I put 13 profile pictures on it. And, it didn't turn out nearly what I thought it would be. I had their usernames on it. It was tacky. It was all over the place. It didn't look right. The grip tape started peeling, which is the sandpaper on top of the skateboard, the abrasive side, so that you can do anything on the skateboard. And then I just decided to like do it again, and I did it the right way. And mind you, this is very tedious, but these are all profile pictures. Everything that you see right here,
Awesome.
profile pictures from my TikTok followers, and I got the TikTok logo right there. That I just handmade all of this. It's about like 500 profile pictures on this board, over like a week's worth of like effort, I figured out how to like curve the time and like do it, quicker, but it's still like you can't really do this all in one day. It's a lot of screenshotting profile pictures. It's a lot of cutting it out. Printing it is the easiest part, and then
Yeah.
gluing it. You would think that'd be another easy part, but that still takes like 2 or 3 hours to do like a section like this big on the board. So
Crazy.
it's insane. I put myself through all that because the payoff of like when it's done, it's gonna be such a iconic moment for a lot of my followers. They just want recognition. They want to, you know, they want you to reply to them in the comments, right? But how
Mm,
about me taking your whole profile picture and putting it on my skateboard and like
mm,
maybe skating it? So the
mm.
first one I skated, it kind of just got destroyed. A lot of people's profile pictures fell off. But this one, it looks like it's gonna hold up. And I'm actually giving away these boards now. I made 3 now. And so I'm really excited to
Plug your
keep,
Patreon. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm really excited to keep this journey going. So I've decided to create a Patreon account because the requests are so massive. Like I have people commenting on a video that they seen 3 weeks ago, unaware that the board's already completed. And so we're already on to the next board, but they're still wanting their PFP, but I'm not like actively in those comments of that video looking for profile pictures. So I'm trying to like centralize just one place where they can just comment, come make a request, and then they get their profile picture on the board. And I just think this is a great idea to give recognition, give a board at the same time, and also kind of give something like give like a community where we can just kind of get together and like learn how to skateboard,
Yep.
which is kind of like the basis of like my whole TikTok page is like teaching people how to skateboard and just having fun.
Yep. For sure, man. Yeah, you're definitely building that community. It's been super awesome to watch it kind of blossom. And I'm excited to do another podcast episode 6 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now. Where we can hopefully be in person. Yeah, hopefully we can do this in person. What was that?
You gonna fly me out?
Yeah. I'll fly you up when we get our studio all set up. One day I'll fly you up, I'll fly you out to like Cali or something. We'll do it out in California.
Yeah, Venice Beach.
But it's been super awesome to like watch it blossom and every time I see somebody skateboarding or whatnot, the first person that comes to mind is you. It's and especially like seeing the younger generation to like know that like, oh, it's like, it's cool to know that like, you're trying to create like a community for people to kind of rely on as like an outlet. It's the skate community has always been cool to me for that reason, because it is such a community. But I'm gonna ask you one last thing, and then we'll close it out, because I think we've had a pretty good conversation. There's been lots of valuable tidbits. My one last question to you, Julian, is a final message of motivation for the people watching. We've talked about patience. We've talked about we've talked about the importance of a teamwork, and how working alone can be beneficial as well. We've talked about the importance of consistency within building your social media. We've talked about a lot today. I think we've had quite a productive episode. So let's end it with a message of motivation from Profile Picture Pete, aka Ja Rulian, aka Ja Ruto, aka CEO of thisshit.com.
Yeah. For motivation.
AKA Verve Sachi.
How about don't be average?
Don't be average.
Right.
I like it. Well,
that's something we would have said in Vima, but and then a lot of people said like That's offensive. I don't know, but like, if I had to give you some real motivation, I would just say like, just understand that like awareness of like who you are, what you want to do, and like try and find the fastest way to do it, but be patient. Like, you want to work fast, but it's important to be patient along the way, because it's not going to happen tomorrow. Nothing happened tomorrow for me, or the next day. Everything was like, I calculated like the next 5 steps or whatever. Which, what does that really mean? That just means like, oh, if I post more on TikTok, maybe I can get some followers. If I post more. And I was just like, yo, I started like, I'm kind of getting away from the whole motivation thing, but
No, you're good.
like Instagram, I realized that I was excited to wake up after a while, because things just started happening. I started posting like 3 times a day, right? And then I would go to bed, and then I'd wake up, and then something happened that got me excited. And I was like, yo, the barracks just posted me. Like,
Mm,
that's crazy. I'm
mm,
posting other people, and the barracks posted me. Like, I was just like, okay. So I was very aware of like, you reap what you sow. I was putting stuff out there into the universe, and then something came back,
mm,
the next morning. And
mm.
so that kind of started happening for me on TikTok, where you just start getting excited to like wake up, like check your phone. That's what everyone's doing already. But, now you have an extra reason to check your phone,
Mm.
because you have, you know, people that like your content and stuff like that.
People that look to
So
you, rely
yeah,
on
it's
you.
up to you. And so yeah, for long story short, if you want me to just give you something real quick, I would say like focus on speed of like attacking what you want, but also be patient in that process. So like, when I say speed, that means like you can go alone, you can go by yourself. Like, you don't have to wait on anyone to get you closer to where you want to be. You can just go there or start moving there with your own 2 feet.
Mm.
Like watching YouTube videos, or just watching podcasts of like how people are doing things, that you want to do. There's successful people out there. Success leaves clues. A lot of this is like Bema rhetoric that's just playing over in my head. But you know, yeah, a lot of this is like Vima, like bedrock of just like um,
It all stems
it
back to
all it all
Vima.
it all started from there. Like
It all goes back to Vima, man.
yeah.
It's for you, for me, for I'm
The
sure
building block.
for Tyler, it's
Mhm.
that was a huge part of our life. It was
Mhm.
a huge, huge part of our life to be surrounded by that, to go to the events. Did you guys come to Ohio? You guys didn't come to Ohio, did you? See, that whole experience from the
Forgot
second
you.
we left Brian's house in PA to the second we got
Yeah,
to,
you guys drove there.
yeah, no, we left at 12:30 at night.
Yeah.
Brian thought it was Brian, if you're watching this, I blame this journey on you.
Uh,
He decided it was a good idea that we all meet at his house. Cody Kearns, the legend, Cody Kearns was even
yeah.
there. And yeah, it was like Cody Kearns and like the entire Saratoga Springs crew. Like
Yeah.
Kyle Payton was there. Like, it's crazy to think that, like, even saying these names right now, like Cody Kearns started with Vima, and he's about like he's building a $1.5 million home. Like, I'm pretty sure like 45 minutes up the road from you. Kyle is like, I'm in like a group with Kyle that like all these people that did Vima are in this group. It's like funny to think that like it all goes back to Vima. It just all goes back to Vima for us.
Yeah.
It's the entrepreneur. That was like our entrepreneurial foundation, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I said, a very, very big time in our life. But Julian,
I will say
before
obsession.
what was that?
I will say like obsession is very important. But
Hell
like
yeah.
you gotta like move. You gotta make it like daily. You gotta do something very simple, very easy, something you can do, very easy to do, but just daily, because when you do it daily, the compound effect, Darren Hardy said the compound effect takes place where basically, you're rolling a snowball and then you're eventually going to hit a slope and that snowball is just going to get bigger and bigger faster. And then you're just going to you don't have to push it anymore. It's just rolling.
Mm. Mm. That's true.
It starts with obsession on like what you want to happen.
That's true. That's true. You gotta, I mean, it's, one of the favorite things that Eric Thomas has always said is be obsessed or be average.
Yeah.
It's, I don't think the whole be average is offensive. I think it's honest. I think it's a very honest statement.
Yeah. You got to have some honesty to it.
Because it's like, you don't, it's like, why would you want to be average, be in average position, where it's like, yeah, I've met a couple of people recently who have, said that they're okay with the smaller things in life, which is totally cool. Totally okay with that, and that's whatever is going to make somebody happy is going to make somebody happy. But for me, like you said, right? The issue with building the skate parks isn't the lack of know-how, it's the lack of money. So it's like the things everyone want to do in life, it all comes back to money.
Yeah.
If you had the money, you wouldn't have the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
You would just go do it. Like,
you just fucking do it. You wouldn't complain. Something broke, you wouldn't complain. You wanted to go to Hawaii for a week, you'd fucking get up, go to Hawaii. It's
literally, it just comes back to money.
But it's like, for me, it's like that idea of the freedom one day, right? Like the freedom to be able to, do what I want, build what I want, grow whatever business I want, start whatever venture I want, because there's so many things I want to do. Like you said, it's not the lack of know-how, it's the lack of money. But Julian, I just want to say again, man, thank you very much for hopping on this podcast episode. This was a good time. I hope we can maybe set up like a regular quarterly schedule to do these podcast episodes. Because what was that?
It's not so scary once you get on.
Yeah, it's, once you get comfortable, once you get rolling, it's it's cool. It's just it's a conversation. It's just a conversation about what we already just talked about. It's taking the phone call and putting it on a recording for people to watch on Zoom.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely schedule this again. Very, very soon. Hopefully, like I said, within the next 2 to 3 months. And, as you continue to grow, myself, my team, we wish you nothing but the best of success with your ventures on TikTok and whatever the hell comes your way, brother, because you, my friend, are killing it. I can't wait to put this episode out for people to listen to. Thank you, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
Hold on. Don't hang up just yet. I'm just going to end the recording.